Welcome, everyone, to our VWEC Metaverse Expert Series. We are glad to see you and have you join us for today's very interesting presentation and discussion. Everyone is also invited to an extended chat with our speaker at the other end of the deck for an informal conversation or Q&A after the presentation. And I believe he might also be giving us a URL to go visit the space that he'll be talking about today. For those who are new, our website is, I just put our website in the chat, and you can find VWEC on many social media channels, and you can find those here, also in the chat. Like I said, after our presentation, we move to the deck for more informal conversation and social time for those of you who want to stay. We are pleased to offer our expert series presentations in both text and chat. Text for anyone who may not be using voice is shared on our YouTube live stream, which I've also just put in the chat. But you can find it in the sign in front of our stage as well. Speaking of signs, we'd like to know how you found out about our events. Our survey plant is just a quick survey that is a great help to us. So if you have time, could you fill it out and feel free to send along any comments you might have. So we would like to thank you all for joining us. I'm happy to introduce our Metaverse Expert Series speaker, Dieter Heyne, also known as Edward Tarber in Second Life. Dieter is a metaverse pioneer with a master's degree in applied computer science and over 3 decades of experience as an IT entrepreneur, software architect, and consultant. He has always been at the frontier of digital innovation. His journey into virtual worlds began in 2007 with Second Life and sparked a deep, ongoing exploration of the metaverse as a space for education, collaboration, and immersive experience. Since 2012, Dieter has been developing and refining a web-based virtual world platform driven by a vision to make the metaverse accessible, meaningful, and transformative. He is the founder and CEO of Metaverse School GmbH, a company dedicated to promoting metaverse literacy and helping people and organizations understand the power and the promise of these emerging digital realms. He will be presenting web-based virtual world for immersive learning. Take it away, Dieter.
Okay, first, thank you so much for having me here as a presenter. And yeah, I will talk about things I love most. And as you already said, I was developing a web-based virtual world now for almost 14 years. It's up and running since 2013. And it was used for a couple of years at a university for their courses. And from there, I learned a lot, mostly things that don't work. And when I decided last year to build a new platform almost from scratch, I took all these experiences into consideration. So the first platform was called CYBALOUNGE, CL for short. So CL2 is now the working title of a new virtual world platform. And the idea is not to make things more powerful or more complicated, but to keep them as simple as possible. Because complexity is nice to have a lot of features, but it's a big, let's say, problem for giving educators a tool they are not able to handle. So I will give you a brief overview. What was the idea behind the development? What are the plans for the future? So currently everything is work in progress, but it's already up and running for as a prototype, or let's say it's not even a beta. Let's say call it an alpha version. But I will give you the link later to visit it. This is up 24/7, and communication and everything is running. So just to give you an idea what we are talking about, imagine an environment like Second Life, but running completely in your browser. So there is no software to download, nothing to install. You just enter a URL and a 3-dimensional web page will appear. The advantage is using the browser is you have only one software or only one version of the software is needed for different operating system, different kinds of devices. So you can run it on a laptop, a desktop, a tablet, or even a smartphone with some limitations due to screen size. But in principle, your device and operating system independent. Another thing is that you have full access to many applications which are available on the web. When I was invited to to give this presentation, the first thing I asked Mary was, "Is it possible to share my screen?" And as we are in Second Life, the answer was, "Sorry, but no." And so this was something I've wanted to have in my platform from the beginning, and it's available for many years now, are things to embed web-based tools. For example, you can have a simple screen running Moodle, Miro, or share your screen with the whole audience in real time. With the sharing or communication software we are using, it's even possible for several people to share their screens at the same time, and you will see it on a huge presenter, just as different tiles. So here is a quick overview what we will cover during the presentation. First, we will start what was the idea behind the new development to make it more, let's say, fresh or refined, but still even simpler. Why that is a good approach. And also important in education always is we all discuss data privacy. We here in Germany or in Europe in general are really very picky about such things. And so privacy and security by design was the foundation for building the new platform. Then the experience so far, how to keep everything under control, how teachers and learners can use it on a daily basis. Then we have a feature called scripting, which allows to create whole interactive environments and so on. And finally, to give you an overview, what are the benefits for educators, institutions, what are the key features, and some sample use cases and ideas. As I'm not able to share my screen and give you a live view, I've always put some screenshots in it. Here it's one from a library where you can even click on books, read them. It also has a space where you can give presentations or have a small meeting and so on. Okay, the main idea was to have a powerful platform which looks and which has a very simple look and feel. So as a user, you are not bothered by technology. You can simply use it. So it means it's running in your browser, no installations. The core setup, that's another thing which is even simpler than my first platform is. It's just a web server and a so-called Jitsi server. Jitsi is an open source framework for voice, video, and text communication. And or in other words, it's a web-based version of Zoom. It allows screen sharing. You can have breakout session, polls, and everything. And another feature which is less well documented but very useful, it includes also a pure WebSocket data server. And this is used to synchronize information between different clients. So it means if you are using it with 10 people, then all the information where an avatar is, what an avatar is doing, is synchronized through the same server. So in principle, you have the web server, which hosts the worlds which are available, but this is all static content. So the thing is, it's pretty secure, it cannot be hacked, and it's very, very, very easy to set up. Then everything is very flexible, so you can have different kinds of environments for classes, workshops, whatever. And the main goal was that it will allow the users to concentrate on content and not on the technology behind. So it means for you, like I wrote on the right side, less infrastructure, less friction, and more room for teaching. And this is something which I was missing from my previous platform, but also from all other platforms, where the idea was, oh, we will put as many features as possible into a platform and see how it goes. And the problem is, users usually are overwhelmed by the amount of features and the lack of real benefits. So things are really kept simple here. The user interface usually only appears if you need it. For example, this is something to demonstrate global warming or climate change. It's a small island with a dynamic ocean, and you can see when the ocean rises, the island becomes smaller and smaller. And this all is happening in real time, and you can visit it with as many users. Also, usually the platform so far can host in parallel between 20 and 50 users. So I've told you before. So the main consideration was to have security and privacy by design from the beginning. So it's not something which I wanted to consider later and see, oh, is it possible to make the platform safe? No, the whole architecture is built around privacy and security. So it's first, simplicity also here is an advantage, because the simpler an architecture is, you have less attack vectors and also less potential problem sources. It allows you to have full control over everything. So it means you don't necessarily need a cloud hosted platform. You can host it in your own data centers or even on standalone machines. And the main goal is here to give you the confidence to use something which is not a threat to data privacy and overall information security. And the rule is clear. A simple system is much easier to explain, easier to manage and to maintain, and also easier to protect than a complex system. And also in educator language, more transparency, fewer surprises, and a better fit for institutional trust. Then not a real educational example, but this is a reading room from a book club. And again, everything here is interactive, so you can really simply click on a book in the shelf and you can start reading it right away. So great for discussions. You can have other tools like a whiteboard for making notes in parallel or whatever you need for your book club meeting. So again, this explains in non-technical words the whole architecture. Currently, the setup is I have one server running an Apache web server. So the whole software and all the content, all the worlds you've seen so far are deployed like a normal website. So there's no difference, just that we have a little bit different content. So we have, of course, an HTML page, some JavaScript, and the rest are 3D models, meshes, and so on. Or it could be video clips or MP3s, as everything you can incorporate into a website. The second component is the Jitsi server, and this is used, like I said before, for real-time audio, video, and screen sharing. It also has a built-in text chat, but usually voice is the preferred choice. And on the client side, as a user, you just need a standard web browser, nothing special. And also performance is key for us. So we build everything with performance in mind. So you don't need to have an high-end gaming PC. Even an average notebook will run our worlds usually pretty easily and with, let's say, sufficient performance. So it means you don't have to have the latest MacBook Pro. You can also use Chromebooks not the very cheapest ones, but if it has an average hardware level, then it runs pretty well. So the thing is, what does it mean? A simple architecture means it's very easy to understand, to install, and to maintain. A pilot can be set up very quickly, so it doesn't mean you need days or weeks to set up everything. So with a little practice, you can have a running system in less than 15 minutes. And this, I think, is the main advantage that you can really have an easy and a short path from your first trial with a platform to regular use, and there is no large technical footprint. Just to give you an idea what's possible, so you can have simple, or not simple, but small models inside. But as you can see, when we zoom back, this model is placed in a huge region. And just to give you an impression, here in Second Life, a region usually has 256 by 256 meters. This region here is almost 1 square mile. So it means it's my calculation in head is not as perfect, but it means it's about 30 times larger than a region in Second Life, and still runs with usually 60 frames on an average PC. So even complexity is not a big problem. The thing is, the platform automatically optimizes models when loaded. So it's nothing the user has to be concerned about. It's all happening in the background. Then we have, or I have developed a complete new collision detection system, which allows to have models with more than 1 million textured triangles running without interruptions. So it means you can really have here, it's a model of a dozen city blocks, and on my MacBook Pro, it even runs with 120 frames per second. But the optimization is done when loading the model, so it means you don't even have to care if the model is optimized or not. There are many sources for free models like Sketchfab or other huge libraries you can take models from, and you can use these models out of the box, and the software does the rest for you. So it means from the model, the mesh is optimized in the background, the collision detection is calculated for you. For a huge model, it takes between 1 and 2 seconds. So it's not really noticeable. So again, about how easy things are. First, you just have to set up the web server and the Jitsi server. Usually, if you have a server in the cloud or for other purpose, an Apache web server usually is pre-installed, and Jitsi takes about 5 to 10 minutes to set up if you already have a domain registered. The good thing is everything else you can configure and test on your local PC, and if you are ready to go, you simply upload the content to your web server there, and that's it. So it means you can update a server within a few minutes with new content, new worlds, whatever you have. And this is really just copying a handful of files from your local PC to the server. The recommendation, or based on our experience, is to start with a small pilot group, see how everything is running, and then install it in wider circles. And you cannot learn from reading a textbook or something. You will learn about the platform by using it. Then you can expand it with templates. Templates are pre-built regions which you can use out of the box. Scripts allow to add interactivity or more complex logic to the platform. And support materials means you can also provide PDF documents, videos, and whatever you have in your material. So this can be incorporated into a world. So it means there is no need for a lot of tools. So with a minimum setup, you're ready to go and can create amazing things. But like I said, first start small and grow from there. So here, for example, you see or even with the graphics, almost everything is possible. We can have dynamic lighting with real-time shadows. Here you see a screen, which is also possible to share your screen on here, like on a TV set, or it could be any other website. So you can also have a YouTube video running here, or everything, or almost everything else, which is available on the web. The interface usually only appears when you need it. Means if you right-click somewhere, you get a number of options which are available. I will show it here. For example, here you can switch between different environments, like this futuristic house, a Japanese garden, and so on. The interface is already supporting multiple languages, and it automatically adapts to the language of your browser. So yes, for me in Germany, my browser speaks German, so the buttons here are labeled in German, but in an English browser, the text here would be in English. But we were too fast. So. And this simplicity is not only a feature for the educators, but also for the learners. So it's really simple to create an open room, invite learners. You just have to send out a link, and then you can guide the session through voice and through a simple and clear interface. Depending on your setup, you can move smoothly between different types of learning. So you can start, for example, with a presentation where you simply show a handful of slides, and then you can send out the students on a quest where they have to fulfill specific tasks. And then everybody can come back and share their results. Also, it's very easy to reuse content and even to share content with other educators. So, for example, if you have built something amazing, then it's simple to simply export it, give it to a peer, and then they can use it on their server. For the learners, it's also a minimum of onboarding is necessary. They click on the link, select an avatar, and already are able to enter the world. So it means the focus is really on participating in the lesson and not trying to figure out the tool. And the thing is, even though the environments look completely different, the usage and the handling is always the same. So it means if you, let's say, teleport from outer space to ancient Rome, the environment may change completely, but the handling and the user interface will stay the same. So we were here. Yeah. The scripting engine means, this is something currently it's a little bit, or still a little bit technical, but I'm working on making it even simpler to use. This allows you to extend the software with whatever you can think of. So it means you can currently you can write code. In the future, you will have a tool which creates the code for you. So it means you can concentrate on the logic, what you want to implement, but the code is generated for you. So it means you can add interactivity. So you can have or you can define specific actions which will happen if a user clicks on an object or anything. You can create something like quizzes, tests, but this is not limited to text, but really the students can interact with the environment to solve tasks and to get new riddles or new puzzles. So you can use it, like I said, for guided tours, orientations, role play scenarios, step-by-step workshops, and especially interesting collaborative quests or missions where students can run around as a group and solve specific tasks to continue in their quest. So it means it's not something where you simply sit and listen to an educator, but it's really an engaging platform where students can really fulfill tasks by doing something, which makes a big difference. So this is currently the coding environment. So it means everything here is JavaScript, but the idea is to to keep JavaScript in the background, but to have a graphical interface, something like the programming language Scratch, where you use graphical objects to create code, so to make it simpler. But in principle, you have the ability here to completely extend the code of the platform. You could even extend the user interface to create a heads-up display for giving hints in a quest and so on. So the usage possibilities are really endless. So, for example, this is something my students have created, and they have created a real point and click adventure game using that engine. So it means you have here a small elf as a familiar, which gives you tips and what you have to do, and then you have to fulfill or find things like a key for the gate, solve some riddles, and then you can progress in the adventure. So it's a really nice idea, and it shows how powerful that scripting engine really is. As a feature overview, just on a glance, what is the platform or will offer you in the final stage? You will have your persistent rooms for different purposes. You have all the communication features available which you need. One thing is when you have avatars, video chat is optional. Also sometimes it helps a little bit, especially with language learning, but usually audio and screen sharing are the most used features of the communication. And we have the easy access through the web. Then we have the learning flow. We have structured activities and prompts, the scripting for guided or extended experiences, and you can combine everything in an environment to have smooth movements or smooth fades between teaching formats. Roles and permissions is some administration basics. So it means we currently differentiate between a teacher and students. The configuration is pretty straightforward, nothing too complicated, and everything is lightweight and contains manageable operations. So really things are as simple as possible. Then an example of something more complex. For the university I was cooperating with, we have created a complete learning campus, which is a small virtual village with different buildings for different learning scenarios. In one building, also we've used the environment for teaching business English, and this meant the students had to walk through the building and by clicking on objects to find riddles and hints to the next riddle. So, for example, here riddle number 2. made the students have to look for another room where there was an org chart. And by answering some questions, you've got the next hint to be able to continue in your quest. In another building, you had different tasks. So, for example, if you clicked on the paper on the table, you got a pop-up, and the question was to fill the missing values. So, for example, are they properly able to calculate the value-added text and then the total? And this you can simply incorporate into any environment, and most of these things are even possible without extensive scripting, just by assigning events to an object. Means what will happen if I click on something. So what are the benefits, especially now for you as educators? So this is really what I'm standing behind, is the platform is designed to support teaching choices, not dictate them. So it means you are in control what you want to do with it, and it is, as usual, it is just a tool to support you in your daily tasks. The next things are, I think, more or less self-explanatory. It's more engaging than a Zoom meeting. The simple platform is easier to adopt than something with a heavy technical overhead or a steep learning curve. If you have active learning, hybrid teaching, then it's a strong fit because it supports almost any kind of educational setting. Then you have a greater feeling of your teacher ownership. So it means you can really create something and keep it. So like, it's not like on other platforms where you have to follow their rules. Here, more or less, you are able to you can create your own rules, and everything you create is yours. So finally, you have using this platform, you have a good balance between innovation, privacy, institutional control. So it means, yes, it is something new, but it's not so new or so complicated that you're not able to use it. Like I said, privacy is a real deal here. Usually, or currently, the only information which is really used or which you cannot avoid is the IP address of the users is stored on the web server for a short amount of time. But we will need no other personal or private data ever. So it means you can concentrate on pedagogy, and the technology is really something which runs in the background, but it's not overwhelming or threatening. So, like you see, you can have different kinds of environments, even something like a beach bar for parties. You can stream music live into the world. The avatars can dance like here. So everything is possible. That's a screenshot from the old platform, but we will do it not similar, but we will have same features. So everything you see in a thing, you can modify directly without external tools. So it means you can build, create, modify things directly in the world. Set events, you can animate them without scripting. So you can create something which really looks appealing without having to refer to tools like Blender or so. Then here as a couple of examples how you can use the platform, and simply you can compare these scenarios to real life scenarios. So of course these things are very simple: seminars, discussion-based teaching. Language learning is always something which is really perfect in a virtual world. You can have virtual office hours, virtual labs, project-based learning. So you can have rooms which can be used by the students alone. to organize themselves, to have discussions, and even to store material they've collected. Or you can give scripted orientation and onboarding sessions. Like I said, regarding the graphics, everything is possible. This is an animated Japanese garden with flying petals. The umbrellas here are rotating. This is a glimpse on the user interface. So the interface will only appear if you really need it. So if you right-click on something, you will have a context-sensitive menu in multiple languages, which gives you an overview over the options which are available. And there's also a global menu, which is available in the lower left corner. So this also opens on right click. It gives you a hint, and you can close hints so they will not cluster on your screen. This was a setup for our annual Halloween party. Also, things here are animated as a skeleton, and you can have a nice music party every year in a spooky environment. Then the typical teaching flow. So what will the tasks be before, during, and after class? These things are already, also usually only taking minutes. So if you have everything set up properly before, then you just check your room, select an activity script, set access, and also choosing the learning format is implicit. Set access is something which I'm currently implementing. So to make a room really safe, it means you can give the room something like a PIN code just for the day and communicate this with your students. And only people with this PIN code are able to enter at all. So it means you don't have to worry about other visitors or so. You have full control who will be able to enter your room, and then you can finally share the link with the learners. During the class, just the things you normally do. And the good thing, like I said before, these environments don't wear off. So it means you can simply reuse a value set up for the next group of students or the next session. If you find some flaws or you have ideas for improvement, you can adjust the script. And finally, over time, you will build a library of learning experiences. And the thing is, you can keep them on your own PC, and you only upload to the server what you really need at a given moment. So this was one of the student rooms which were used by the student group without educator, and they had a free choice of tools they wanted to incorporate. For example, here was in the middle, we had a shared Google Doc. So it's you could write on that board in real time in a group. So everybody was able to add to the text all at once. We had a Miro board available here and some static information with schedules and some other hints. And that was then really without supervision used by the students themselves. Now we come to the end of my presentation. So here is just a quick summary what we have talked so far. So again, always start small with just an easy use case and go from there. This is usually something happening almost automatically. It means in the beginning you will start with a few of the features you will need most, and the more you learn, the more features you will incorporate into your sessions. Also important, as usual, collect feedback from teachers and learners, and from there then expand with templates, means new environments, scripts, or additional use cases. So in general, your imagination is the ceiling, and so the platform is a tool you can use to do anything you can dream of. Here, quick again, the fresh and simple by design. We are very secure and privacy aware. Always keep in mind, it's easy to set up and easy to use, and it's ready for interactive learning already. Not for all use cases, but just to have a session with students. I will give you the link in a few minutes, and then you can try it by yourself. So thank you for now. We will come then. If there are questions, I will be happy to answer them. Just one last thing, if you are interested, some advertising, perfect timing. Just last week, my book about the Metaverse was published on Amazon. So if you are interested in the past, present, and future of the Metaverse, give it a try. Or the book is based on a series of articles I've published in the previous month. And if you want to see just about what it is, you can read this or the article series on LinkedIn, or also in my blog. Here is the link. Then for you to try out, I will also give you the link for the platform. Okay, it's available here. And if you want to have a real demonstration or just discuss things, currently we are having a meeting in that platform every 2 weeks. It was today, an hour before this meeting, so it means every 2 weeks on noon Pacific time. So we are a small group, and we are always discussing topics like I've presented today. So thank you for listening, and if there are any questions, feel free to ask.
Thank you so much for sharing with us today. This is an amazing example. So yeah, you can either ask in local chat or in voice. So Max has a question. Are the learning activities meant to be synchronous, asynchronous, or either?
In principle, by default, everything is synchronous, but it doesn't have to be. So you can also add content which can be studied at any time and then be used in a synchronous environment. So this really depends on your setup, but you can have both.
I have a question.
Yes.
So, it's probably, as you probably know, a whole bunch of metaverse platforms are going under right now, and I suspect that it has to do with the cost of servers, and I suspect that's because of AI. So I'm wondering, how do you see, being able to maintain and how have you forecasted the use, the amount of server use that you might end up having to use?
Yeah, it's a great question, and this is something which I had or which was considered from the beginning. So it means uh, the main computing load is on the client in the browser. So it means the server does not much work. Means, for example, a setup for 30 students will cost you about 10 to 20 bucks per month.
That seems
And
reasonable.
yeah,
Yeah.
and this means with the setup, because uh, regions are static content. So it means you can have a server which hosts literally dozens of different worlds. And also I think the moment the demo server I'm running are two servers, each have 4 cores and 8 gigs of memory. That's all.
So I guess my question would be, are you okay? So the people that are using it, all of the stuff is residing on their own machines. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense, because I think a lot of times these other platforms that are going under, they're hosting, millions of rooms basically, and it's shocking to me that a somebody or a company like Rec Room and Spatial could go under when they have millions and millions of monthly active users.
Yeah, the problem is they don't have that many users. That's the problem. And the worst thing is they don't have that many paying users.
Right.
Also just
Yeah.
look at Facebook/Meta, Horizon Worlds. The best example how you can burn $83 billion in a couple of years.
Yeah. And speaking of
Yeah,
AI, are you planning to add support for AI, or is it already there?
it's already there. The thing is, also the setup is if you want AI, you have, or we will set up for you simply another server which does nothing but AI. And we have some sample bots created. So it means in one of the worlds there are AI controlled avatars which each with a distinct personality. But this is something which we want, or we have an interface supporting AI, and in principle, it's very simple to adapt the AI or your AI to our system. So it means you can have like teaching bots which tell you something about history or whatever. So the good thing is there are standard interfaces how you can interact with AI. And what we are using is called Olama. This is the software which is or which allows you to run different LLMs, large language models. So it means you can select the model for your purpose, you can set up everything, and then you can have an AI bot either be a teacher or one of our examples, you can have a real pirate. So this bot really will run around and curse at you and so on.
That's great. Do we have any other questions?
Also, I think the best way is to give it a try or a look first. And if you have questions, or even better, if you have suggestions for the future development, I'm always happy to hear them.
And remember, meeting is twice a month, right? Right before this time period.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it at the URL that you put into the
Yes.
chat? Okay.
Also I'm usually there every time. Also, Jamie is joining almost every time. So we are really a group of, let's say, experienced metaverse pioneers, and we're discussing everything from AI to all the current topics.
It gets really, really geeky, but it's a lot of fun.
Okay, well, I want to thank everybody for attending today. And just a reminder, you will be able to find the recording of today's presentation on the VWEC YouTube channel, which I have just put into into the chat. And if you would like a copy of today's slides, you could get them on the board on the side of the deck. So look for the sign for this presentation. So one thing I want to make a couple of announcements. VWEC is pleased to invite you to show off your community at our community fair this summer. It's going to include a kickoff in May, on May 16th at 11 a.m. You can add your display to share what you are doing along with other communities that support education in virtual worlds. So the community fair will go from May 16th through August 5th, 2026. And there is a registration form where if you fill it out, you will get a booth. I think if you look kind of like to the side of us where it says join us for the VW, it's to my left, basically. There's a booth there with the big sign. That's the kind of booth that you would get for the community fair if you are interested in having one over the summer. It's going to be in the same place that the student challenge is being held, so just kind of right over the bridge from behind me. I do want to let you know that the next expert series will be a panel. It will be for the VWBPE 2026 Insights Highlights, and it will feature 5 experts who are greatly involved in the Virtual World's Best Practices in Education Conference. And they will cover such areas such as AI as a partner, not replacement, with Rose Hill, questioning our assumptions with John O'Connor, community as an engine of insight with Zinnia Zauber, human agency in the time of rapid change with Eric Moore, and myself with the transformative power of immersive presence. This will be on April 24th, so 2 weeks from now, at 1:00 p.m. Second Life time. Now, to see all the events that's going on at the plaza, you can check out the URL that I've just put in the chat. We also have, like I said, a YouTube channel where you can see all of the presentations that go on here, and the social media channel as well for all kinds of stuff. And then I'm just going to put in a whole bunch of links here for other social media. And we are also on Discord in the Second Life server. Use #Education. And then finally, if you are interested in volunteering, please contact Val Librarian Greg, Ellie Pinion, or Sue Moon Magic. And now what we would like to do is we would like to, if Edward, if you have time, maybe to stand up and go over to the deck, and then maybe talk about either continue the conversation or maybe go on a tour. It's up to you. But once again, I want to thank you for coming. Everybody, give you a big round of applause. Really appreciate you coming to talk to us today.